So today I'll be talking about a client of mine, Dr. B, who is a veterinarian in the DC area. He and his partner live there and have 2 practice locations. They were in an interesting situation. They had a great practice, very profitable. The biggest problem that they had was so much of their net worth was concentrated in their business and their primary residence. About 85% of their net worth was in those 2 things alone when they joined us. When Dr. Brown joined us, he was nervous. He had, to this point in his career, the better part of 35 years, really invested in his business and his business alone. So he had a lot of fears around the market, around investments outside of his business, just because he didn't know that area, wasn't all that familiar with it. So it was quite a big step for him to really start to save outside of his business. But he did know that that was ultimately the step that would free him from his practice when it was all said and done. You know, the first things that we did for Dr. B was really working through the practice itself and talking through the valuation and giving him an idea of what his practice was worth. That was really a game changer for him. He's had a tremendously successful practice, and really painting that picture of where he stood today was very freeing. Second to that is we started to save outside of his business. So we did put the systems in place to start to save and diversify his asset base, which that in itself was also a freeing experience for him. So the good news is at this point in time, Dr. B has sold his practice. Now, the big change here was, when he joined us, he was a bit skeptical on markets and investing outside of his business. He just wasn't familiar with that. So that was certainly a big change. But the beautiful thing about this process was, we worked through with him and we set these targets of what is your magic number? Where do we need to be selling to be in that ideal retirement scene? And he was there. I mean, after taxes were settled out, he was where he needed to be in retirement, and he felt confident and comfortable. So today when we look at Dr. B's scenario, he is in a position where his practice has ultimately closed. He has sold. He's still working for the practice for another 12 to 14 months, but he certainly has a very solid exit in plan. He's had a complete flip on investments outside of the business, so he's now invested nice and in a diversified manner. He has an understanding of really where his income will be derived from when he ultimately does stop practicing. And he's far less stressed about the day-to-day of the business because he's not dependent on it at this point in time. I am thrilled when I look at Dr. B's scene today comparative to when he joined with us. He has increased his net worth somewhere to the tune of $3 million since joining our firm. He has a portfolio that is far more diversified and far less dependent on his business. So he has several income streams set aside that will ultimately lead to that dream retirement that he was shooting for.